I just need someone to explain something to me. I live in Alabama, and my utility bill usually averages between $200 $250 a month. Can someone please explain to me how my utility bill went from $250 a month to $696 this month? Could someone just please explain that to me? I know it was cold last month, but $696? Explain!
Okay, y'all, I never thought I'd say this, but here in Huntsville, Alabama, we are certainly regretting our votes for Trump now. Look, y'all, we just got this letter from the electric company that says because of a Trump executive order rolling back Biden-era legislation that our electric bill is going to go up $100 a month because of what Trump did. Now, this man ran on bringing prices down for us, bringing grocery prices down, bringing energy costs down, housing, insurance, and none of that has happened at all. This is literally crazy. I mean, it's almost like the Democrats were telling the truth the whole time and the Republicans have just been lying nonstop. I know that's completely crazy to even say because Republicans have always been a beacon of truth. But yeah, this letter has me so pissed off that I'm never going to vote Republican again. And I'm going to do everything I can to make sure we flip the House in April. That's what we need to do now because Republicans have just been lying to us to get our votes. Isn't that crazy?
The 10 states facing the biggest health care increases if Republicans refuse to act, all red states. West Virginia, looking at a 387% rate hike for families that rely on ACA tax credits. Wyoming, 382%. Alaska, 346% rate hike. Tennessee, 320%. Mississippi, 314%. That is 5 red states where premiums are going to more than quadruple for families that rely on those tax credits. But you know what? Let's keep going. Let's do the next 5. These are states where the average premium will more than triple for families relying on the tax credits. Texas, 289% increase. South Carolina, 285%. Alabama, 284%. South Dakota, 235%. And North Dakota, 234%. So there you have it.
Brothers and sisters, don't get it twisted. What we're watching is not strength. It's desperation. Because a strong leader doesn't need to rename the Department of Defense the Department of War. A capable president does not need to send Texas National Guard into Illinois without the governor's consent. A wise administration doesn't need to turn soldiers and ICE on its own citizens. That's not leadership. That's incompetence dressed up as authority. See, when a government has no answers, it manufactures enemies. When it has no solutions, it creates chaos. And when it has no vision, it clings to fear. That's what you're seeing right now. A failed administration exposing itself in real time. But here's what they don't want you to realize. Your doubts are justified. Your anger you feel is righteous. The unease you carry is true. You're not imagining their failures. You are not exaggerating their lawlessness. What you are witnessing is confirmation. This administration is unfit, unconstitutional, and losing its grip on power. And here's the blessing in disguise. Every desperate stunt, every reckless order, every act of overreach, they are not signs of control. They are signs of collapse. And the people are waking up. The people are rising. And history has always proven that no tyrant, no oppressor, no false king can outlast the will of a free people. So hold your head high. Stand in your truth. See their desperation for what it is. Proof that their time is running out. And remember, our hope, our unity, our fight for justice will always outlive the weakness of this administration, because power built on lies cannot stand forever. But democracy, when the people rise to protect it, that will always endure.
Hi guys, welcome to PrinceIchieunfiltered channel. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome back to the chaos. To our viewers and subscribers, we appreciate your likes, your comments, and staying till the end. So guys, don't forget to like, comment, and share our videos to help us grow and bringing you more content. Alright guys, let's get into today's topic. Something is boiling in Alabama, loud, angry, and impossible to ignore. For years, this state was one of Trump's strongest fortresses, but now a wave of outrage is sweeping through his own base. Skyrocketing costs, financial pressure, broken expectations, and now lifelong supporters are asking what happened to the economy we were promised. Tonight, we expose the uproar shaking Alabama to its core and why MAGA voters are calling the moment a shocking economic meltdown.
Jerry Spencer turned to unemployed Americans, but says after 2 weeks, most couldn't cope.
The farmer says, start over here and end over here. And that was the extent of their instructions. With the American workers, they all had to be taught all this and separate. And in addition to the fact that their bodies just were not built for it.
In the great state of Alabama, at least 15 No Kings protests all around the state of Alabama. People protested at the foot of the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma. They protested in Oxford, Alabama. Hundreds of people turned out there. In Montgomery, they marched from Riverfront Park. Here's a look at the crowds that turned out in Huntsville, Alabama, and in Birmingham, where the march started at Railroad Park. Here's Dothan, Alabama, and Guntersville, Alabama.
I need all the farmers for Trump to come to the front of the class, because I hear you're asking the rest of us for money, because Donald Trump's tariffs are going to financially ruin you. And what's so funny about that is, didn't Donald Trump and his tariffs bring you to the brink last time? Because he got you into a trade war with China. And now China is basically cutting off corn, soy, all agricultural products, and they're looking to other places like Canada, Brazil, anywhere else they can get agricultural products, and U.S. farmers are the ones left holding the bag. There's a soybean farmer that's been making the rounds here, and he's saying, I voted for Donald Trump 3 times, and I was glad to, and I like his policies, but these tariffs are hurting us, and I need you to stop this, Mr. President. And they're asking us for another bailout, the taxpayers, another bailout, because they decided to vote for Donald Trump for a 3rd time. That's a fuck around and find out, my friends. And I'm not here to help financially support these people. They want to bitch and moan, all these people on the right, about people being on welfare and people needing handouts. And well, farmers, wear those bootstraps that you guys like to talk about all the time. Why don't you find them and pull yourselves up from them? Because we are tired of bailing you out. I understand that if you don't get bailed out and these tariffs ruin you guys, it's going to have a huge impact on the rest of us. But I knew that before the election. I knew that when I was stumping for Kamala Harris and telling people not to vote for Donald Trump. So you're fuck around and find out. I hope it's a little more personal, because you guys decided to continue to vote against your own interest and cut off your nose to spite your face. It's time you sit in it for a minute.
We love a great FAFO moment, and I have another one for you. First, some background. 65% of the state of Alabama voted for Donald Trump. Alabama is in the top 10 poorest states in the United States related to federal poverty level. While many of these voters sit behind their computers and celebrate Elon Musk cutting waste, little did they know it was going to impact them. This week, over 250 residents in Huntsville, Alabama received a notice from their electric company that they were going to have to pay an additional $100 surcharge. The explanation for this was that Donald Trump's recent executive order ended a $1 million grant to the utilities company to help these customers pay for their electric bill. Leaders in Alabama are furious because they said this is counterintuitive to Donald Trump's promise to lower energy costs. Tots and pairs.
What happens when the truth gets trapped behind prison walls? In Alabama, the men living and dying inside those walls decided they weren't waiting for permission to speak, so they got contraband phones, hit record, and showed us what the state of Alabama never wanted us to see. For 6 years, they documented everything: the beatings, the overdoses, the bodies. This system is not broken. It's doing exactly what those in power designed it to do. And the numbers don't lie. Since 2019, over 1,300 men have died in Alabama prisons. Deaths have doubled, suicides have more than doubled, and drug overdoses are up tenfold. Meanwhile, Governor Kay Ivey dumped $300,000 per bed into new mega prisons while people were dying in the old ones. Alabama is spending more on cages than on health care and mental health care combined. Why? Because forced prison labor brings in $450 million a year. Profit over people. Literally. And while the state cashes checks, mothers like Sandy Davis are still begging for answers about their sons. Her son, Stephen Davis, was beaten so brutally in 2019, she couldn't recognize his face. And there has been no real accountability, just silence. And the guards responsible, well, some get promoted. Like Roderick Gadsden, who is connected to repeated abuses and promoted twice. And Alabama uses taxpayer dollars to defend officers accused of brutality. We are literally funding corruption and looking the other way. But the men inside these prisons didn't. Despite threats of solitary confinement, retaliation, hell, even death, they fought back the only way they could, by telling the truth and risking everything to get it out. Their footage became the Alabama Solution, a documentary exposing the violence, the corruption, and the cover-ups in Alabama prison. And if they can risk their lives to show us the truth, the least we can do out here in our comfort and freedom is refuse to look away. This isn't left versus right. It's right versus wrong. It's not about being tough on crime. It's about being honest about abuse of power. So watch the Alabama Solution. Share it, talk about it, demand accountability, demand corrupt officers like Gadsden be fired, because silence is exactly what they're counting on.
I need all Alabama Trump supporters to report here. I need you to come here, particularly the poor ones. Because right now, your president's budget proposal has already passed through the House of Representatives. So now it's going to go to the Senate, and it's likely going to pass because the Senate is also being controlled by the Republicans you voted for, okay? And what this budget proposal is wanting is to cut Medicaid, cut food stamps, and give all that money to the ultra rich. So the people who are already rich, they're about to get more money from these tax cuts that they're getting from you, a poor person. So the poor person who needs help to pay for food and health care, you're now probably not going to get it or get as much as you need because that money is being rerouted to rich people. And I just need to know, did you not know this is going to happen? You didn't know that Trump was advocating for rich people and not poor people like you? I'm just wondering, because almost 16% of Alabamians live in poverty. And that's considered the national threshold of poverty. There's a lot of y'all who are really poor. It's a lot of y'all. A little over 1 million Alabamians are on Medicare. That's a fifth of the people in the state of Alabama. Alabama is already one of the poorest states in the country, and it's about to get poorer because of these cuts that are about to happen. Now, for the people who voted for Trump and who are not poor, I hope that you are okay and prepared for the poor people who live in your neighboring communities, the poor people who are maybe relatives in your family, to come knocking on your door when they need housing, when they need help paying for their medical visits, when they need something to eat. I hope that you all are willing to give those people some of your money, since you voted for a man who is going to take some of those resources away. It is always said that poor white people will always vote against their interests in the name of racism. And that is exactly what has happened. Donald Trump is probably one of the most racist presidents in modern history. And he has galvanized support from white supremacists all over the country, specifically in Alabama, where white supremacy was born. And people support him because of that, and not because of their own personal interests. So, Trump supporters, let me know what's up. You know, what you plan on doing when your Medicaid is shut off and your food stamps are gone. You know, what you gonna say to your boy? How you gonna let Trump know what's up?
Trump is causing havoc in Alabama right now with his executive orders. Right now, Huntsville Energy is raising bills by $100, and they're going into their bank accounts and taking money out of their bank accounts without them even knowing. It's all over the news, man. This is crazy.
Alabama, the Republican Party does not care about you. They just announced a plan to cut Medicaid. The state of Alabama is set to lose up to $800 million in federal funds. And if you're not aware, we are right now experiencing a crisis when it comes to our rural hospitals. Over 80% of these hospitals are operating in the red. So if we see these Medicaid cuts go through, then we will potentially see some more hospital closures in our state. Republicans, the Republican Party, they own this. Republican leadership is not being honest with the state of Alabama, and they're not looking out for our best interests. Make sure that you get loud on this issue, y'all, and please, please, please do your best to spread the word. Thank you.
I just got a letter in the mail from Blue Cross Blue Shield letting me know that my medical premium for 2026 is going up to $882.64 a month. That, included with my dental and my vision, means I'm going to be paying more than $900 a month just to have health insurance. And that's all out of pocket because I don't have a company that pays for my health insurance. So, I don't know how people are surviving with kids. I really don't get it. This is insane. And if anyone has suggestions on other health insurance companies that are better or more affordable, please let me know, because this is highway robbery.
Alabama, I need you to come take a seat. Let's have a talk. For the 92 and the 78%, don't y'all worry about this. But y'all remember to engage, leave your comments, and hit that top button over there. But Alabama, so y'all voted for Trump, right? Y'all a red state. You can't tell me you're not, because I'm from there. See this? Right here. It's my state. I don't live there anymore, but y'all voted for this. Now, y'all getting them letters for my people in North Alabama, especially, because I don't know if this has made its way down south yet, to Birmingham, Montgomery, and beyond. But I know these people in Montgomery getting those letters in the mail, getting that money withdrawn from their account that they were counting on. Now, for those of you that don't know, the utility company in Huntsville sent out letters to its customers that they will be paying an extra $100 on their utility bills because of their favorite Uncle Donald. Donald J. Trump. The J stands for jackass. Because he has canceled the funds for the grants that add those extra $100 so it can lower their doggone utility bills. And some of these people have already had these funds withdrawn from their account. But Alabama, this is what you voted for. You thought you was voting to get rid of them Mexicans, didn't you? You thought you were voting to get those egg prices down, which are constantly going up. You thought that you were voting for a better America. You voted for a man who continuously lied to you. And you knew he was lying, but you wanted to stay on the white side. You didn't vote for your best interest. You didn't vote to make sure that your life would be greater in the long run. You voted because you didn't want that black lady in office. See, this is your repercussions. Everybody don't play fair. You should have known that Donald Trump wasn't going to play fair. Now, your lights might get cut off. Your water might get disconnected because you don't have the money to pay these extra $100. Some of y'all are living on a fixed income, and that extra $100 ain't in there. So where you gonna get it? Where will it come from? Y'all come have some coffee with me, smoke a cigar or something, because we tried to warn you. We told you that the guy that you wanted was a crook, a criminal, a guy that cannot even participate in charitable activities in the state of New York because he was fraudulent with not one, but two of his own charities. One of them was a college. The other was a kids' charity. The same guy that you thought was going to save you has abandoned you. So now what you going to do? You can't take it back. You wanted Tommy Tuberville in office. What has Tommy Tuberville done for you? You voted for Tommy Tuberville because he coached Auburn. That man wasn't a politician. He was a racist. He wasn't a politician. But you voted for him because he coached one of your favorite football teams. Not because he knew what the fuck he was doing. But now look at you. I'm not bashing you. I'm just telling you the truth. This is your doing. The rest of us are going to continue living. See, because we know how to survive better than anybody. So what y'all need to do is get off your ass. Call your politicians and let them know how you feel. Because if you don't, it's going to continue. And come 2 years, when it's time to get them out of office, you better get them out of office. You better not vote for your race. You better vote for your ass, because that's what's on the line. And if you don't believe me, check your bank account this morning. See if there's $100 in it.
Across Alabama, Trump voters who once stood firmly behind the movement say they are feeling abandoned, squeezed, and misled. And they are speaking out loudly, from small businesses struggling to stay open to families crushed by rising prices, to workers who say they feel forgotten. The frustration is turning into a statewide uproar. Alabama's anger is growing, and if this uproar continues, it could reshape the political landscape in the way no one expected. Is this just the beginning? Is the MAGA base starting to fracture from within? And if so, what happens next? Tell us in the comments. Is this a warning sign or the start of seismic political shift? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video, because what's happening in Alabama could soon happen everywhere. So guys, see you on the next one.